because I had tried to lose weight so many times as a kid and failed every single time, right? I believed the same stuff. I obviously don't believe that anymore, and I believe that you can change your life, but I also understand that it's not as easy as 1, 2, 3, oh, bibbity bobbity boop, oh, I'm all good now. It's a lot of freaking work, and there are so many people and programs and things out there that will make you think that they have the answer when they don't. I hate it, I can't stand it, and that's why I talk about this stuff so much. Alrighty, guys, gals, non-binary pals, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for clicking on the video. Before we get started, if you see all these lovely people here on the side of the screen, they are here while I'm recording this live. I stream on Twitch every single Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So please feel free to join us. Also, if you do enjoy the video, I humbly ask you to drop a like. It really actually does help a lot. I know every single YouTuber that you watch asks you to do it, but there's a reason, because if I don't ask, YouTube will destroy my channel, all right? And I don't want it to be dead. All right, so if you could drop a like, that would mean a lot. So today we are going to be talking about a video that was dropped by none other than Dr. Not really Dr. Greg Doucette, all right? And he is talking about something that I have talked about many times before on the channel, and I think that he brings a lot of interesting points to the conversation, and I have my own, thoughts and feelings about this. So the title of the video that we're going to be talking about is infinifat, ? She isn't obese, she is super fat, right? Sounds interesting. Very, very clickable title. So let's go ahead and watch this video.
Is it just me, or does super fat and infinifat not sound like some super villain in a friggin' video game?
It's funny that he says this because I actually released a comic a few months ago, probably like 6 months ago now, where it talked about the adventures of X-Fat, because I get called X-Fat all the time, and so I made myself a superhero named X-Fat, and then my friend Zach, he was my sidekick, and he was infinifat, and so it's funny that he says that because I literally made a comic that was that, but whatever.
Greg, and apparently if you use the medical term morbid obesity, you are fatphobic. A woman says this is worse than terrorism.
So what it says right here, it says, this is what life is really like when you weigh over 400 pounds. I've spent almost 3 decades hearing I'm a ticking time bomb and that I'd be dead by 30, and I am deeply, profoundly tired of it. By Juliet James, apparently.
That's saying to someone, you suffer from morbid obesity, a medical term, that's worse than terrorism. Instead, she wants to be called infinifat. And it's not just her.
I'm sorry, but the vast majority of people that are not really, really, really into the health at every size movement or, fat positivity movement, if you called them infinifat, I promise they would not be stoked about that. If someone called me infinifat when I was at my heaviest, I would not have been like, thank you so much for not calling me obese. I would be like, what? What the like common sense just says maybe that's
There's a push to change the medical terms from being obese, morbidly obese, to get this: small fat, medium fat, super fat, or infinifat.
So this has actually been something that's been talked about quite a bit. I've talked about this, like, honestly, I think it's years ago now, where it's people trying to differentiate the different, like, classes, right, of obesity, the classes of, being overweight. Because a lot of people will be like, well, I'm infinifat or I'm super fat, and I don't like when people that are just mid-fat are at the forefront of the conversation of, how we should be, treating fat people, because just because they are mid-fat, they don't know what it's like to be infinifat, or they don't know what it's like to be super fat, or they don't know what it's like to be large fat or whatever, right? So that's why these people are trying to make these to be specific classes. It's because if you're infinifat, you can only really talk about the experience that it's like to be infinifat, and if you're medium fat, you can only talk about the experience of what it's like to be medium fat. So I think that's why people want to, differentiate between different sex, I guess.
And I'm not making this shit up. It's been published in several articles on subreddit and so on. I am an infinifat person. I prefer this term than the medically meaningless and offensive morbidly obese. When you're 455 pounds, as this woman says she is, this is a very heavy weight and it puts you at a greater risk of dying. Morbid as in close to death. You could get a heart attack. You could suffer one at any time. How is that meaningless? And sorry that you find it offensive. If somebody has cancer, like my sister, stage 4 terminal cancer, she probably doesn't like knowing that it's terminal. That stage 4 cancer, the C word. But she still has it. And so when doctors tell you you suffer from morbid obesity, they're not doing it to fat shame you. They're not being fat phobic. They're telling you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear.
Okay, so here I disagree slightly, okay? Hear me out. Don't attack me yet. There are some doctors that are assholes, okay? They are. And they do not like meeting with overweight people, and all they say is, you need to lose weight, you need to lose weight, you need to lose weight. Sometimes there are things that have nothing to do with your weight that you should be able to go to the doctor to and be able to get that treated, and them not say, you need to lose weight, you need to lose weight, you need to lose weight. But hear me out. Okay. At the same time, we should not be sticking our heads in the sand and saying, well, you know, your weight there's no issues, right? I would say that it is absolutely a doctor's job to talk about the genuine issues that could come about by being overweight. Because imagine if that doctor had many patients that were significantly overweight, super fat, infinifat, whatever you want to use, and they started dying by heart attacks, diabetes, and they never brought up the fact that, hey, your weight is causing some of these issues, right? I would say that that doctor is not doing their job, right? So I don't think it's this is the only way or that is the only way. I think there are genuine concerns that are brought up by the Health at Every Size movement about how it's like being treated as an obese person, super fat, whatever word you want to use, at the doctor's office, right? There are issues that are being addressed, and I think that that's a good thing. But it shouldn't be just don't talk about it ever, and your weight and your size has nothing to do with any of these any of these things that could be diabetes or cancer or heart attacks, high blood pressure. None of that stuff can be caused by your weight. No, come on, let's be honest, right? That's how I feel about it.
You want to hear, you're just small fat, big fat, super fat, infinite fat, and frankly, I think super fat sounds worse than morbid obesity. Is it just me, or does super fat and infinite fat not sound like some super villain in a friggin' video game? Imagine someone comes up to you and says, hey, what do you weigh? Oh, I'm 300 pounds. You're super fat. I think saying to somebody that they're fat sounds worse than saying they're obese. It's a medical condition. If someone's a diabetic and I say, hey, my friend suffers from diabetes, type 1, type 2, doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter!
They might not like it. It might be offensive, but that's what they have. You can't just shy away and pretend. You can't identify as not being obese just because you don't like the consequences. And
so a big issue, and I think one of the things that so many people that are on the opposite sides of the spectrum here that they struggle with is that genuinely there are many people that believe that your weight is not something you can actually change. So that's why you hear it being compared to race. You hear it being compared to like height. You hear it being compared to, sexual orientation. And I've always been like, come on, that's ridiculous, because I obviously believe that you can change it and that it is something that is in your control to a certain extent. There's obviously always outliers, but it's really hard for people that are on the other side of the spectrum that are like, your weight is 100%, 1,000% in your control. Your weight, it is completely up to what you are doing. I am in the middle, surprise, right? Where I think, yes, we can control to a certain extent, but there are always other factors, outside factors that go into that, right? That make it harder for some people. And so I understand where people are coming from, but I just disagree that there's nothing you can do, especially if you are, 450 pounds, right? To say that there's nothing you can do to lose 50 pounds or to be in a better spot from there, I disagree. Do I think you need to be, get down to, 150 pounds and be super lean? No, I don't think that's necessary. And it might not even be possible for some people, right? And so I'm, again, in the middle, surprised, but that's how I feel.
So she's been morbidly obese throughout her entire life, and she says, I once tried to lose the weight, but I couldn't. I starved myself to get down to 325 pounds. She says it took extreme food restriction as well as a lot of walking to drop down to 325 pounds.
And here, this is the story that you hear almost every single time. Someone is very, very kind of entrenched and very deep in the fat acceptance kind of culture, is they have had a very bad experience, which sucks. That sucks. It sucks that they had a bad experience with trying to lose weight. But the fact of the matter is that's what most people experience. That's why I am such a huge proponent of not trying to, do these crazy, insane diets that will get you to lose weight super fast, but then you gain it all back, and that really messes with your confidence, and you feel like, oh, I just can't lose weight. Trust me, I used to be that person. I used to joke all the time about, oh, I don't have a metabolism. It's broken. I wasn't born with one. Or I just can't lose weight. It's not possible. I used to genuinely believe that. Not kind of. And this was before fat acceptance was a thing. This was before any of these things existed outside that would have made me feel that way. That was how I felt genuinely, because I had tried to lose weight so many times as a kid and failed every single time, right? I believed the same stuff. I obviously don't believe that anymore, and I believe that you can change your life, but I also understand that it's not as easy as 1, 2, 3, oh, bibbity bobbity boop, oh, I'm all good now. It's a lot of freaking work, and there are so many people and programs and things out there that will make you think that they have the answer when they don't. I hate it, I can't stand it, and that's why I talk about this stuff so much.
And she yo-yoed up and down. She's suffering. And so she's destined to be infinifat. As in fat to infinity or fat forever? How is that good? To me, that's more insulting. Infinifat. You're infinitely going to be fat. You're doomed with fatness forever. You're cursed. No, you can in fact lose the weight and keep it off. Becoming obese, that might not have been your choice. You might have horrible genetics, hormones, or overfed as a child, never exercised, whatever. But once you're obese and you're an adult, it's calories in, calories out. If you want to bad enough, you can lose the weight. For example, Louise, 260 pounds, did a bikini competition, went from 65% body fat to 15%. How? Through CICO. Calories in, calories out. And
shout out to Louise. I know a lot of you guys know who that is.
So don't listen to plastic surgeons, doctors, nutritionists, whoever tells you it's not calories in, calories out. It always is calories in, calories out. You cannot break the laws of thermodynamics.
In this house, we obey the laws of thermodynamics.
And so because she tried once to lose the weight and couldn't, she regained it, yo-yoed up and down. She thinks that she's cursed. Or is it that she starved herself, suffered, got too hungry, and then binge ate, regained the weight? She went about losing weight.
I can't, obviously, I don't know. I would assume that Greg doesn't know exactly what this person did, but I will say I have worked with a lot of people. I've talked to a lot of people, and that is, sadly, a very common thing. I have met many people that have lost 50, 60, 100 pounds through basically starving themselves, and they gained it back, right? I've met many, 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 many people like that. That sucks. That sucks. That's why I don't promote that. I don't think that that's what you should do. Yes, it is fun to see the weight come off really fast and you're super motivated and you get all these people saying, oh my God, good job. You look so great. That's so awesome. And then you get this feedback of, oh, I just don't eat and I get compliments. I don't eat, I get compliments. And that can fuel you for a while, baby. That can fuel you for a year. That could be a fuel for a year. But guess what? That fuel tank will run out. It will. It sucks. It sucks. starting to gain the weight back slowly. You stop getting those compliments. Now people are looking at you a little bit different. They don't really talk about that stuff anymore. They see you eating. They start kind of judging you. You start feeling worse. You start eating more. You stop going to the gym because you're embarrassed of how you look. It starts, the cycle continues. It gets bigger. It gets bigger. You start feeling worse. You start eating more. You start feeling worse. You start eating more. You stop going to the gym. You stop going outside. You don't even want to see the people that you used to hang out with. Then you get to a point where you're as big as you used to be. Oh my God, I'm bigger than I used to be. It sucks.
You actually were telling the truth.
I do that quite a lot. Yet people are always surprised.
That's why I don't promote that. I don't want people to go down that road because it's not a fun road. It'll be fun for a little bit, but it catches up to you. It does.
The wrong way. Think of it. It took her entire life to gain the weight, and you think you can just lose all the weight in a couple months by crash dieting. That is not the way. You use progressive overload. You slowly start adding in more cardio. You take out a few things from your diet, maybe go from drinking regular pop to diet, make changes that are lifelong sustainable. And if you don't know how to do it, well, you can start by watching my videos, but you can also get my Circle Diet book, my life's work, explaining how to lose weight and keep it off for the rest of your life. Or you can get my cookbooks, delicious low-calorie recipes keep you full. It is not that complicated. And she keeps pushing the narrative that thinness at any cost it's not it's not healthy. Why is it all or nothing?
So it says right here, my behaviors were far from healthy despite my weight loss being lauded by the people who noticed it as evidence that I was working to be healthier. Not so much. I was working to be thin. And if you don't think there's a difference, you are deeply mistaken. Thinness at any cost will not make a person healthy. But that's exactly what society wants from fat people. And I agree with that. I think that's why I'm beating a dead horse at this point, but that's why I don't promote that. I don't like seeing, that's why I don't like seeing when people post, I lost 100 pounds in X amount of time. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I do not care how fast you lost the weight. I don't care. It doesn't matter at the end of the day. It just doesn't matter. What matters is, are you able to keep that weight off? Awesome, you lost 100 pounds in a year, but then the next year you gained it back. Does it matter how fast you lost that weight? No, right? That's why I don't like talking about it. I don't like promoting it. I don't like, he lost this much weight in 6 months, because it just doesn't matter. Look at The Biggest Loser. Look at how many people have gained the weight back from that show. They lost weight insanely fast. It's just not a good way to go about it.
It's 455 pounds or thin. Remember what I keep saying, halfway there? Halfway there. It's not about being perfect. It's about being better than you are. And so there's a big difference between being thin, let's call it 150 pounds, and 450 pounds, which is super fat, infinifat, morbidly obese, call it what you will. Big difference. Why not get down to 290? A svelte 290, certainly a lot better than 450 pounds. Certainly can add years to your life. And it's
I agree with this to an extent. And the way I see it is, if a lot of people, they'll talk about health at every size, and they're like, well, I'm not saying you can be healthy at any size, right? Obviously, if you're 600 pounds, that's unhealthy. But also, if you're really thin, that's unhealthy. Yeah, of course, right? So what they'll say is that you can practice healthy habits at any size. My argument to that is, if you are truly practicing healthy habits consistently, not just posting you doing yoga on your Instagram once a month. I'm sorry, but you need to do more than that, And that's what I see from a lot of these people. If you are doing healthy things consistently, you will not be 500 pounds. Also, you will not be 100 pounds. You will be somewhere in the ballpark of a normal, quotes, weight. If you are practicing healthy habits consistently, there is no way that you will be 500 pounds. It's not gonna happen. Same thing, there is no way you are going to be 190 pounds, you're gonna be 80 pounds. It's not gonna happen, right? So if you are doing things consistently that are healthy,
do it! Just do it! Don't let your dreams be dreams. Yesterday, you said tomorrow. So just do it! Make your dreams come true!
It's not my fault. I don't make the rules. I wish we could weigh 1,000 pounds and live just as long as if you're 200. But it's not how it works. And so she believes doctors are shaming her when they tell her that she...
So it says this shame is without equivocation. It's a big word. Harming me and those who, like me, live in very fat bodies. These are our homes. There's not. It's your body. Why do people talk like this? It's a body. It's a body. There's a home. The homes are different, okay? Does anyone really think it's healthy to be told over and over and over again that you're essentially on the verge of death every moment of every day? Obviously, I disagree with that. No, that's not healthy, and I don't recommend that, and I talk about it all the time. You don't need to tell a fat person they're fat, bro. They know. They know. But also, you shouldn't be telling a fat person that it's okay to be 500 pounds because it's not. Why is it either you tell a person they're fat and make fun of them all the time, or it's totally okay to be 500 pounds, nothing's going to be an issue? Guess what? Both of those are bad.
she's morbidly obese and could die from it? Is it shaming someone to tell them the truth? When the doctor says you have cancer, you have diabetes, are they shaming you in some way? Or are they telling you the diagnosis? When the doctor says, unfortunately, you suffer from morbid obesity, are they shaming you? Or are they telling you what you need to hear? That you are going to live a shorter life if you don't do something about it. And so should you just say, no, I want to be called infinifat because it's for life? Or would you rather think you can actually bring about change? You have the power to lose weight. Bodies that look like mine are apparently a bigger threat than even terrorism. I mean, I looked up exaggeration in the dictionary. I didn't see this sentence, but I was expecting it to be there. Where in the heck do you get terrorism comparing to obesity? Where did that enter your brain? She writes, do they think we'll all explode? No, you might get a heart attack, type 2 diabetes, bad stuff, a stroke, an aneurysm. Negative things, not explode. No one is suggesting an explosion, nor are we suggesting terrorism. It's incredibly alarming to know that a Surgeon General of the United States would make such a statement. I've been directly told to just kill myself in order to spare the taxpayers the cost of caring for me and to spare my loved ones. Do you really think the Surgeon General said that? She read a negative comment from some loser on the internet who she'll never know. That is not the same thing as the Surgeon General telling you to kill yourself.
The thing about this is that's why I get so frustrated, because I get lumped into people like that. Because there are, let's be real, there are assholes on the internet.
Watch your profanity.
That say stuff like that. It's not a few. There's a lot of them. There is. And then people think I'm just like that because I don't agree with, obviously that being any size is totally fine. But then people were like, well, this person says, it's like, yeah, okay. I don't agree with what that person says either. And so this is true. People do deal with that type of harassment, and it's not right. It's not cool. It's not funny. It's not like, and then people will say, oh, I'm just saying it because I care about them. Shut up. No, you don't. You just want to be an asshole and feel like you're better than someone else. Let's be honest here. Telling someone you should just kill yourself or you're going to die soon anyway. Ugh. No. That, I cannot stand people. Oh, I just care. No, shut up, dude. Get out of here.
And so apparently it's everyone shaming her. She says everyone. Family, friends, the nightly news, doctors, trolls on the internet, even famous people like Oprah Winfrey, she says, shaming her. Why? Because she's claiming that healthy to be the new skinny.
I don't understand why you would be so, you would feel like that's a terrible thing. I think personally that's a good thing because, in the early 2000s, late 90s, right, everyone wanted to be stick thin, tiny, skinny. It was skinny. Skinny branding on everything. Everyone wanted to be skinny. So I think being healthy is the new skinny, right? It might be cheesy, but I don't think it's dangerous or evil, right? It's better. I think that's better than trying to be skinny all the time. Everyone needs to be skinny. Because guess what? Your boy ain't never going to be skinny. It's never going to happen. It's never going to happen.
Because she works for Weight Watchers. So this is what we're dealing with. She is so hateful of the term morbidly obese that she wants to change it to infinifat. But this is my opinion. She can lose the weight if she wants. And I'm not saying to lose all of it. I'm saying she can lose some weight. And yes, I do believe that her genetics are not great. You've seen my videos. She probably has more fat cells, more ghrelin, less leptin, perhaps less of the hormones she needs, and so on. But she still has a choice. She can still put the fork down. She can still eat low-calorie dense foods. She can still try to eat more fruits and vegetables and less junk. It does come down to calories in, calories out. She's no exception to the rule. She can't break the laws of thermodynamics. She doesn't like being told what she needs to hear, wants to hear what she wants to hear. And it's not your fault, and you're just going to be infinifat for life. And so she doesn't like the term morbidly obese, yet she injured her bicep, went to the doctor to get an MRI, and couldn't fit in the machine. Could not fit in the machine, and so if something's wrong inside of her body, she can't even use the equipment that's designed to help save her. And so if that's not morbidly obese, when you're so overweight that you can't use the diagnostic equipment to help to try to save your life, then what is morbidly obese? I think that rather than saying the morbidly obese person, we should say the person who suffers from morbid obesity. And so it's important to use people first language. You know, when you value the person first, instead of saying the blind person, you would say the person who is blind. And calling someone super fat, to me, sounds a lot more insulting than saying the person who suffers from morbid obesity. It's a medical condition like diabetes, alcoholism, and so on. And so you can, in fact, do something about it. Just because you have this medical condition of being obese, morbidly obese, doesn't mean it's a death sentence. You can lose the weight. You can eat healthier, fewer calories, exercise and burn off more of them, and CECO, and follow CECO, calories in, calories out. If you're in a deficit, you're going to lose weight. The problem is people want it right now. Took your entire life to gain all that weight, and you want it off yesterday. It doesn't work like that.
That's one of the biggest issues, and that's what I genuinely believe that is what has broken more people's will than almost anything else, is the fact that they will do these very intense, very strict diets. They will see, 20 pounds gone in a week, 2 weeks, whatever it might be. They'll be really excited about it. But eventually, and, for some people, they can stick to it for even longer, right? 6 months, a year. But eventually, they can't do it anymore. And that's not because they're a failure. That's not because you are weak. That's not because you're not. It's because what you were doing was unsustainable and not possible to do for a long period of time. That doesn't mean that you're a failure. It doesn't mean that you are doing something. It's the diet failed you. Okay? The diet failed you. You need to remember that. You did not fail the diet. The diet failed you. What you were doing was not going to work no matter what, because the diet failed you. And I hate seeing people that give up on trying to lose weight because they did too many diets that failed them, too many exercise programs that failed them. Because I believe that you can lose the weight and keep it off if that's something that you want to do. It's not easy. It takes a lot of work, but it is possible.
Small changes that you can sustain for the long haul. That's what you need to do. Small changes. Not training 2 hours a day. You don't start 2 hours a day, 2-a-day workouts. No, you do a little bit. 10-minute walk. Eat a little bit healthier. Not drastic changes. Chicken, broccoli, and rice. Who can do that? You shouldn't need willpower. You should be able to make small changes that you can sustain for the rest of your life. If you need help, please watch my videos.
The rest of it is basically him just talking about his books and stuff. So, I don't really have much else to say. I think I've kind of said everything that I need to say, but I would love to know what y'all think down in the comment section down below. If you've made it this far in the video, again, I would really appreciate a thumbs up. It really does help the channel out a lot. But without further ado, thank you so much for watching the video, and I'll see you next time.